Welcome to HFY Vault channel. Real stories, real feelings. If you feel something today, stay with us.
They laughed at humans. Then a human man got them pregnant. They laughed at humans. Not a soft laugh. Not a polite laugh. They laughed like humans were insects. The Galactic Council Hall was huge. Bright lights. Floating screens. Hundreds of alien races watching one small human man standing alone in the center. The aliens whispered. Humans are weak. Too emotional. Too fragile. One tall alien with blue skin stood up and said loudly, humans cannot even survive without machines. They are useless. The hall filled with laughter. The human man did not laugh. He did not shout. He did not cry. He only smiled. Because none of them knew the truth. And none of them were ready for what would happen next. Because one day later, the strongest alien species in the galaxy would face something impossible. They would be pregnant. And the father was human. Humans joined the Galactic Federation late. For thousands of years, other species traveled between stars. Humans were slow. Humans fought wars. Humans destroyed their own planet almost twice. When humans finally reached the stars, the galaxy already had rules. The Federation judged species by three things: strength, intelligence, biological value. Humans failed all three. They were weaker than most aliens. Their technology was copied from others. Their bodies were fragile. So humans were placed at the lowest level. They were allowed to exist, but not respected. Commander Ethan Cross was chosen to represent Earth. He was not the strongest soldier, not the smartest scientist, but he was calm. And he never broke under pressure. When Ethan stood before the council, the aliens stared at him like he was a joke. One alien race called the Zirans hated humans the most. The Zirans were tall, silver-skinned beings. They were strong. They lived long lives. They believed they were perfect. Ziran leaders openly mocked humans. Your species is weak, said Elder Vrax. You will never matter. Ethan replied softly, humans survive. That is what we do. The council laughed again. The Zirans had a secret problem. Their species was dying. For many cycles, no Ziran children were born. Their scientists tried everything. Cloning failed. Genetic repair failed. Artificial wombs failed. The Zirans were strong. But their biology was broken. They did not want help. Especially not from humans. But the Federation forced cooperation. A research project was started. Different species would share biological data. Ethan was assigned as a human observer. The Zirans hated this. He will learn nothing, they said. He is inferior. Ethan spent weeks watching, listening, learning. He noticed something strange. Ziran females were biologically compatible with many species. But no one had tested humans. Why? Because humans were too weak. Ethan shared this thought quietly with the Federation scientists. They laughed. But one scientist paused. Maybe weakness is the wrong word, she said. Maybe humans are adaptable. Permission was granted for a single test. Not natural mating. No physical contact. Only biological interaction at the cellular level. Human DNA was introduced carefully into Ziran reproductive systems. The Zirans were confident it would fail. Days passed. Nothing happened. The Zirans laughed again. See? Elder Vrax said. Humans are useless. Then alarms started. Medical screens flashed red. Ziran scientists froze. One by one, Ziran females showed signs of change. Their bodies were reacting. Life signs increased. Cells multiplied. Heartbeat detected. A Xeran doctor whispered, "This is impossible." They were pregnant. Naturally. For the first time in centuries. The father species was human. The room fell silent. Ethan stood quietly. He did not celebrate. He only said, "Humans adapt." The news spread fast. The galaxy exploded with shock. How can humans do this? What are they hiding? Some aliens feared humans. Others were angry. The Xerans were humiliated. They had mocked humans. Now humans saved their species. Elder Vrax accused Ethan. "You planned this. You used us." Ethan looked at him calmly. "You laughed at us," Ethan said. "But you never studied us." He explained the truth. Human DNA was unstable, flexible, highly adaptive. Where other species failed, humans adjusted. Not through strength, but survival. The Federation demanded answers. Were humans dangerous? Ethan replied, "We are not conquerors. We are survivors." Xeran children were born. They were healthy, strong, smarter than before. They carried Xeran strength and human adaptability. The Xeran species was saved by humans. The council changed its tone. Humans were no longer at the bottom. They were reclassified. Biological key species. Many races now wanted alliances. But humans stayed careful. They remembered the laughter. Ethan stood once again before the council. This time, no one laughed. Elder Vrax bowed. "We were wrong," he said. Ethan nodded. "Humans are used to that," he replied. The galaxy learned a lesson. Never judge a species by strength alone. Humans were not the strongest, not the smartest, not the oldest. But when life needed a solution, humanity answered. And the galaxy would never laugh at humans again.
More feelings are coming. Like, subscribe, and don't miss them.